So, you're looking for RGB fans. What's that? You want addressable RGB fans? You want to control them remotely? Well, I think ThermalTake has you covered. Hey, welcome back to the channel, OCNers. Blue Devil here again. RGB has literally exploded into the market. You really can't go anywhere and not see a form of RGB. So I guess it's no surprise that RGB fans are definitely here to stay. I could go as far as saying that the golden standard for case fan manufacturers is implementing some sort of RGB into their version of case fan. First, there were the 12 volt variants that, well, they did the trick if you didn't separate zone to different colors. For the most part, these versions became quite popular. However, needed to run is the required 12 volt 4-pin header, and some even needed a breakout box if you didn't have that coveted 12 volt header on your motherboard. Even then, you were limited to colors and effects. Then came along a new standard of RGB, 5 volt addressable. This changed a lot of things in the RGB world. It gave you even more control than ever before. If you wanted to make each LED a different color, you could, provided you had that coveted 5 volt 3-pin header on your motherboard. Ah yes, now it's 3-pin. What the? I just got 4-pin though. Well, I'm gonna tell you straight off, don't plug a 4-pin into a 3-pin and vice versa. You will damage something. Now that that's out of the way, ThermalTake has their own take on what an addressable RGB fan ecosystem should look and perform like. Enter the ThermalTake Riing Trio 12 3-pack 120mm radiator fans. Each fan has 30 single LEDs that are customizable to the full RGB spectrum of colors. 16.8 million if you didn't know that already. In the package, you obviously get the 3 Riing Trio fans, a digital lighting controller, a 4-pin Molex adapter, yeah, I said Molex, USB 2.0 header to dual micro USB controller cable, a bridge cable, and enough screws to mount to your case or your radiator. Also included is a short strip of Velcro to attach the digital lighting controller to the inside of your case. First up, let's talk about the Riing Trio 12 fans. Upon first glance, fan blades are slightly smaller than traditional 120mm fans. The Riing Trio fans measured about 98.4mm, while this deep cool fan measured about 111.12mm. I know it's not a lot, but I think the smaller fan blades are to make up room for the additional housing of the diffused RGB ring on the inside wall of the fan housing. So something really had to give. The fan blades and center hub are nicely diffused plastic, giving it a more premium look and feel. The hydraulic bearing used in the Riing Trio is also supposed to self-lubricate, which extends the life of the fan. All 8 corners of the fan housing have rubber dampening pads to lessen the vibration to other components. Flipping the fan over, a larger than normal fan hub is present, again due to the inner LED ring. Then comes the really long rubberized sleeve cables at 34 inches. These are by far the longest cables I've ever worked with. I can only imagine the spaghetti monster of cable mess that it would become. At the end of those cables, however, what looks to be a USB 2.0 header, but slightly different. The Riing Trio fans are really meant to be used with ThermalTake's own digital lighting controller. This makes the Riing Trio fans very dependent on the digital lighting controller and ThermalTake's own ecosystem. Without the controller, the fans will not even receive any power to even spin up, making them incompatible with other controllers and/or brands. Next is the digital lighting controller. For me, it's kind of a sore spot. This controller can be connected to more ThermalTake digital lighting controllers, 16 to be precise. This can be done by flipping the dip switches on the back side of the controller, as well as connecting the bridge cable that is provided. Each lighting controller can control the lighting and fan speed of up to 5 ThermalTake Riing Trio fan. Now this is my second digital lighting controller. The first one I received with my Riing Trio 12 worked with my Ryzen 7 system initially. The software, which is TT RGB Plus, started giving me some weird errors, indicating something was wrong. Contacting ThermalTake, which IMO had quickly resolved the issue, sending out a replacement digital lighting controller. Both my Intel i7 and Ryzen 7 systems both now work with the replacement digital lighting controller. Alright, so what about lighting's effects, sound, and performance? With the aid of the TT RGB Plus software again, which offers tons of customization, 16 lighting effects without customizing a thing, you can change just about any LED to any color you want, control the speed of the fans with preset performance silence, or even control them with PWM control if you so desire. TT RGB Plus software is very intuitive yet overwhelming at the same time. The remote control function is dodgy at best. I never got it working with my Google Pixel 2 XL. However, if you have Amazon's Alexa or Razer's Chroma, those might fare a little bit better. A slight learning curve is required to understand all the functions it can provide. In terms of sound, the Riing Trio 12 fans are rated at 25.2 dB at 1500 RPM. Here's a quick sound clip of them running against the Deepcool RGB DF120 2512CL-076. So, performance is good with all things considered. Rated CFM is rated at 41.13, which is pretty standard for a 120mm radiator fan. Keep in mind that anything above 40 CFM is good enough to push through just about any radiator. The Riing Trio fans are a static pressure fan, meaning they allow more direct airflow pattern to focus cooling, more of which to a water cooling radiator. So wrapping things up, the Riing Trio 12 fans from ThermalTake are really nice fans with good static pressure. However, the connections on the fan headers are proprietary to only ThermalTake controllers. My experience with the Ryzen platform could end up being a bad bug that had already been worked out. So the ThermalTake Riing Trio 12 120mm fans receive a solid 4 out of 5 flames from me. Okay guys, if you could please like and consider subscribing if you hadn't done so already. I will see you guys in the next one. Blue Devil, out.